Hey guys, what's up? It's 𝗨𝗹 here, back again with another video. I've used the Ulanzi UW-MIC 20P extensively for multiple shoots over the past weeks, and this is my review. Before we start, consider subscribing if you enjoy these types of content. If you're looking for a sound test, don't worry. All the audio in this review is being recorded on the Ulanzi 20P mic, and I'll switch back and forth between audio recorded by the phone and the mic itself. Tell me if you can hear a difference in the comments below. Let's go over the hardware in the box. The Ulanzi 20P comes with two wireless lav mics and one receiver. Your receiver will either have a USB-C or a lightning plug depending on the version you buy. You can monitor the audio coming from the mics through a 3.5mm jack on the receiver. Ulanzi even included free earphones. In addition to that, you get two wind muffs for the mics, which is great, especially if you're shooting outdoors. I wish the wind muffs could fit into the case with the mics so I can just leave them on, but I guess that's a minor nitpick. I'm using the USB-C version, and my only concern is that it's a bit wobbly when it's plugged in. It feels unsettling, like it might break on the slightest push. Finally, the mics come in a storage box that also doubles as a portable charger for the mics, and it looks sleek. It's still made of plastic, but with care. That being said, let's start this review with the sound quality. Well, here it is. Well, it's not exceptional, it's above average, but if I were to judge this mic based on only the sound quality, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it over Ulanzi's existing J12. What makes the 20P so special is its ability to record audio directly onto the microSD card. It might sound like an uninteresting feature, but it's actually a very useful thing to have. For one, if the mic ever loses connection to the receiver during a shoot, you actually have a backup. Secondly, sometimes you're recording two people talking. You might find that they don't speak at the same volume, or they tend to speak over each other. Since both mics are always recording, you can manually equalize their volumes or mute a speaker in post. However, Ulanzi made a few confusing design decisions on the 20P that I strongly disagree with. First, I don't like that you need to remove the microSD card to access the recorded audio. I wish they included a USB-C port on each mic to make it easier to extract the audio. Secondly, Ulanzi seems to have made a huge oversight on the functionality of the mics. Let me explain. Imagine you just shot a video. You navigate to the gallery and play that video because you wanted to hear how it sounded like. Well, you can't, because plugging in the receiver disables audio playback through the speakers. Not only that, the 3.5mm jack doesn't support audio output from the phone. It's exclusively designed to monitor the audio from the mics. I'm not sure about iOS, but the same issue applies when making calls on Android. Let's say you're on a video call with someone. They'll be able to hear you clearly, but you won't be able to hear them back. Why? For the same reason you can't play videos with sound. There's no audio output when this mic is plugged in. However, it's not a total loss. Aside from unplugging the receiver, you can still connect a Bluetooth headphone for audio playback. But then again, it feels like an unnecessary step that could have been avoided. The good news is that this isn't an issue for Windows, because unlike Android, you can choose the output device for your audio. So if you're planning to use this mic to make calls on your laptop, I'd say go ahead. The lack of documentation on this mic is also terrifying. On one occasion, I spent the whole day figuring out why one of my mics wouldn't connect to the receiver anymore. And it turns out I activated factory reset by clicking the side button 3 times. And the only way to fix it was to factory reset the two mics and the receiver. To be fair, the manual tried to explain this, but very poorly. The thing is, despite my harsh criticisms in this video, I like the 20P because it reminds me of a baby DJI mic. I love that Ulanzi added microSD card recording onto the mics, and as an added bonus, the audio is much better compared to the Ulanzi J12. But unfortunately, it also breaks some of the functionality that made the J12 so fun versatile, and intuitive to use. So I'm torn because when it comes to brass tacks, you're paying for above average sound quality and the ability to safeguard your audio, in addition to audio editing flexibility during post. These aren't features to scoff at, especially at this price range. But if the benefits of onboard audio recording doesn't appeal to you or doesn't benefit your current workflow, you're better off with the Ulanzi J12. But for me, despite everything I've said, I'll hang on to these just for a little while. And consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Appreciate ya. Peace.